Aren't the vibrations a lot better than the N64 Rumble Pack?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I think the Rumble Pack was like a one size fits all. This is more controlled.
Do a barrel roll.
So
I just remember
both
playing
hands.
Star Fox. I just remember how heavy the Rumble Pack was, and like your wrist would get tired trying to hold up the Rumble Pack.
I got it with my Star Fox 64 for Valentine's Day. I think it was like 1998 or 1999. Mom, since I had no real Valentine because I was a fat wrestling fan as a kid, Mom got me Star Fox 64.
I used to work with my buddy at his flea market little stand. Like him and his Hispanic family. Like, yeah.
Where?
That's what I used to do. In Raleigh.
There's a flea market in Raleigh.
Huh?
What's the flea market in Raleigh?
It was just called the flea market.
That's where I used to get all my wrestling DVDs.
I appreciate a good flea market, but I hate when they're like just putting like pretty much sticker price on shit.
Well, you're allowed to bargain with it.
Nah, I shop, and if it's a good deal, I'll pick it up. But I'm not going to sit there and haggle with somebody with 4 teeth
Mike,
and a cigarette in their mouth.
You gotta haggle.
Ain't worth my time.
You gotta haggle.
You gotta haggle. You have to.
No, because then those people feel like they get a win.
Cookie, before we start, what was your haggling? How did you haggle?
Well, I was also like 12, so I would see my dad haggle. But I would try and get the wrestling DVD.
I can't. I gotta be able to pay the ice cream man when it comes by.
Dude, it was. He would be like, "Come on, man. There's like you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a dirt mark on this DVD. Like, this has to be like $5. Come on now, give it to me."
No, sir. This bootleg copy of Cloverfield goes for $10.
Oh man, can you imagine a bootleg camcorder of Cloverfield?
I would throw up.
Double camcorded?
I would
double camcorder.
I'm pretty sure that's what they did. They went to Japan and just filmed a movie with the camcorder.
Oh my god!
In a theater.
That movie
it was terrible.
I enjoyed it when it came out. It's a movie of its time.
Talk about blue balls.
Oh, I mean, like I loved the movie when it first came out because I was a big like J.J. Abrams fan and all that stuff. Oh man!
I literally got to the end. I was like, "You fucking kidding me?"
Can I tell you, 10 Cloverfield Lane was a much better movie.
Yeah, much better.
John Goodman being a psychopath. Welcome to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Varnum. Joining me today, as always, the flea market maestro, Cookie.
Yes, sir.
Big Mike.
Yes, sir.
And Tolbert, anything happened over the 2-week period that we had going on? Anything in particular?
Let's see. No, I mean, it was a relatively uneventful Christmas. You know, we laid low, had a baby. And, you know, that's about it.
Had a baby.
Yes, we did. Miss Ava Rowe, she was born at 8:40 on Christmas Eve night. So decided she was going to steal the show for the holidays. We were supposed to be induced the following Monday and thought we were going to have like a nice quiet Christmas at home. She had other plans. So we spent Christmas Eve and Christmas in the hospital. And my wife, Katie, did amazing. She went through an 18-hour labor. It was quite the experience I'll never forget, but she was born happy and healthy, eyes wide open, pooping as soon as she came out of the womb, screaming and pooping everywhere.
When Ava Rowe finally emerged, did Enter Sandman play, and did she come out with a kendo stick and a cigarette in her mouth?
Snuck. So we had a playlist going, and I did sneak some Ozzy on there, and I was hoping she would. She started to crown just as "Mama, I'm Coming Home" is playing by Ozzy Osbourne. But
times will change.
I was like, please.
Mama, I'm coming home.
So she came out shortly after that. So she almost came out to Ozzy, but not quite.
Nice.
What did she come out to? Did she have a push song?
No, we had a various playlist of all kinds of songs. The nurse even made a comment that every time she comes into the room, there's a different genre of music playing. We had some stoner metal on there. We had some Wind Hand. You
made Katie listen to Sleep.
No, there was no Sleep on the soundtrack, but there was some Wind Hand, which is a little more witchier.
Oh, I know Wind Hand.
Yeah. And she actually put that on there. I was very proud. I was surprised. I was like, ooh, little stoner metal baby coming out.
Maybe it was just like, maybe she hated it and it was just gonna be like a hate push song.
You know what would have been very, very appropriate would have been a Guar song with all the blood and like excrement and all this stuff happening.
It was very reminiscent of a Guar show. I did not get sprayed with anything though. Okay, that came later after I brought the baby home. I've been pooped on. I've been peed on. She likes to fart right in my face when I'm changing diapers.
Boy.
It is a child after you. You can tell there's shared DNA.
Between the two. Yes. And she is a little night owl like her father. She's afraid she's going to miss out on something when the sun sets. She likes to stay up all night long and sleep all day. So just like her daddy.
So there you go. So the baby, has it changed your outlook here in life? Do you feel different now that you have
I feel much different. I don't know why Mike would do this twice.
Because right around they start getting easy when they start sleeping through the night and you're like, I could do this again.
No, but it definitely has it changes everything, man. You get your protective senses heightened. I've had some weird, very realistic dreams about animals attacking me in the house and me fending them off. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's very weird.
Tolbert, did you find any? Have you been microdosing before you go to bed?
No, there's been a serious drop off in intake of any substances in my life.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, you ain't got time for that.
Because I know, like with your anxiety and everything, like that would heighten it a little bit more into an uncomfortable place where you're like, I gotta just do this. I gotta stay sober.
Well, sometimes you're just so sleep deprived. It's like all the endorphins and everything. It's a drug all of its own, Barnum.
You gotta. And I watched Made on Netflix this week.
Ooh, good movie. We watched that last week. It's
a good show. You gotta sleep when the baby's sleeping. Is what I learned from that show.
We try, but I don't know if she's, in a past life, she worked in like a Vietnam prisoner camp, where, they wake you up. They won't let you sleep as a form of torture. So every time you doze off.
That's the biggest hawk of bullshit ever. Sleep when the baby sleeps.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, when the fuck else are you going to get anything done?
That's exactly
true. Yeah.
Like, that's such utter bullshit from people that just probably have really good kids who never had to worry about that sort of thing.
But when she sleeps, I try to catch up on chores around the house, and I just go till I have to pass out. But my mom's been here. My mom's been a huge help. So we've had family and friends helping out, bringing us stuff and, switching off so we can get some sleep and stuff like that. So we've had a lot of help. It's been amazing.
We are very happy to finally hear about this. We took 2 weeks off. I wanted to give you bonding time, and I also wanted time for bonding myself. I got a new PlayStation 5, so I was bonding with that a little bit as well. So I just want you to know that we are so excited for everything that is going to happen the next 50 years of your life. Wait, I'm doing the math. Well, we'll say 30 years.
Jesus.
You're only giving me 30 more years?
Yeah. God damn. When you, all the intake of substances and Gen X,
Oh, and so I did get a reverse osmosis system installed in my house this week. So that should extend my life at least a couple of years.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to be a little bit before you then because I've been neti potting with Gen X water my entire life. So,
dude, you've got mutated brain amoebas.
Yeah, that's right. So how is that reverse osmosis? Jasmine is trying to get us to get one as well.
Top notch, pure water solutions. They came right in, $400. They install it, and you got fresh water.
Is that whole house or is that just kitchen?
That's just kitchen.
So when you're in the shower, it's like you're on a trip to Mexico. You got to plug your nose.
Don't let it get in your mouth.
Don't let it get in your mouth and your nose. All right. Tolbert, we're gonna move on. Cookie, how was your? Yes.
Whoa, hold on. I have a question for Tolbert. Serious question, you know? Serious question. How does it work? You have a Christmas baby now. Do you have to give them double gifts?
So everyone's been saying that. Everyone's like, well, Mike gave me the idea to hide birthday presents and distribute them throughout the year, which is beautiful advice. My brother was born a week before Christmas, and he demanded birthdays and separate presents. So I have a feeling this one's going to do the same thing.
You have to separate it out because they do need their own individual day. So you guys will be making Christmas Eve very specific to Ava, and then you have Christmas. It's easy to differentiate.
I've already vowed to do that. So we will have her first birthday is going to be on Christmas Eve. I'm already planning the Christmas Eve party.
Tolbert's not going to be a shitty father. We know he can pull this off.
Yes. So
I have heard also in the past that you can give them a half birthday party.
Someone told me this as well, because, being born on the holidays, most of your friends are out of town visiting family and such. So you do it halfway through the year where they actually hang out with their friends.
Dude, right. So that would be July.
June
24th.
And now that Varnum has a season pass to Jungle Rapids.
I have a season pass. I can get you guys in if you need to. We can take the kids to Jungle Rapids.
Jungle Rapids over break with Elliot.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
It was okay. It's not the worst, not the best.
I wouldn't go now with the Omicron.
Mike, that explains every Jungle Rapids experience. Wasn't the worst, not the best.
I'm like, I spent $20 and I got a bouncy ball and a pack of Smarties.
and my fingers are stuck in this goddamn Chinese trap. Cookie, how was your 2-week vacation? Did you get burnt up in Colorado?
Burnt up? No, I could not get burnt up because there's too much goddamn snow. All right, there's been snow for the past 2 weeks, just sitting on the ground. All right, and originally I was like, I love the snow, I love it so much, and now I'm like, fuck,
the fuck were you expecting?
Snow. Trying to get this ice off your goddamn windshield, the pain in the ass.
Yeah, you gotta get an automatic car starter.
Yeah, what you want to do, Cookie? You want to get the water as hot as you can.
Yeah,
and then throw it on your windshield. Really fast.
Please don't, Cookie. Cookie. I know that you would probably not try that, but please don't.
Here's the tip, Cookie.
You want to boil it.
So, Cookie, 5 to 10 minutes feels like an eternity when you're sitting in a freezing car. But if you go out there 5 to 10 minutes early and just turn your fucking car on, even if you forget to put it on defrost, even if you forget to do anything else, it will thaw out your windshield enough that it's nice and easy to scrape off.
Right before you get dressed, you run out there in your rugby shorts and your wife beater shirt and your flip flops.
Yeah.
And you scamper over like this. You run in, you turn you crank it up, and then you run and you scamper back inside.
Now, I will say, if you are going to go that route, have a brush on hand in the house. So that way, say you get a lot of snow on your car, you do not get the classic open door, 6 inches of snow falls in on your driver's seat that then melts. So you got to be careful about that. You want to brush the door off.
Very
the door
smart.
Frame off before opening said door.
There you go. This is tips from a man from the Midwest.
I love that because you get more snow, obviously, than we
did. He lives in Wilmington.
I live at the beach now because I ain't a fucking idiot.
Cookie, I feel that we will be seeing you again very shortly after you graduate.
Cookie, are you going to keep the Questlove look or not?
I'm sticking with the Questlove look.
I'm digging it, dude. I wish I could throw my hair out like that.
Because no one can braid hair around here. There are no I don't trust them, bro. I don't trust them.
Just ventured into the depths of Denver. and just see what you can find.
I gotta go real deep into Denver.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think like
I find them, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like is there diversity in Denver?
Hispanic and white, bro. Hispanic and white. That's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no inner city culture there or anything like that.
Not in Boulder.
I'm trying to think of like if I've ever heard of like any rap groups or anything coming from Denver, and it's like, no.
Who do you know that's from like Bobby Lashley's from Denver? That's the only person I know that's from Denver, Colorado.
Maybe that's why he's bald. He just gave up. Couldn't find anybody to braid his hair.
Is that why he talks?
He probably could grow his hair out.
Poor Bobby Lashley. I didn't realize he was from Denver.
Yeah, he's from Colorado. And then also, Aaron, I got ordained.
Nice.
I'm a minister cookie now. All right,
Pastor Cookie.
Pastor Cookie. Yeah.
So does
I had to officiate a wedding.
How often do you have to like re-up this?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that a national thing or just a Colorado thing?
It's just a North Carolina thing. I'm officiating a wedding for Bobby.
Oh, dang! Could come down here and just marry everybody.
So are you saying that you're going to marry? Could you marry a fellow podcast person?
Absolutely.
All right. So say that you were to do this.
Cookie, make sure you get him to pay for your flight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you have to do it in like the biggest Stacey Adams suit like ever, like this classic black preacher.
It's got to be like a color that like nobody would want, like not match anybody.
It's like lavender.
It's gotta be plum.
It's like the referee at a rugby game. He's got to make sure he doesn't look like anybody else.
A plum suit for me.
If it's true, Stacey Adams is gonna have a little crocodile skin going down the side of it. Ooh, that's a true Stacey Adams.
We will pay for your suit and your flight.
There's that place in the mall. I bet you can get a fire suit.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
make sure you don't get it tailored though.
Yeah, you got. It's got to be hanging down
off the rack.
Hanging down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to give us a little message as well, like a little sermon before you marry.
You got to slip as many wrestling references in as you can.
And in true black preacher fashion, no matter what the occasion, you have to try to save at least a few souls.
You got to have an altar call.
I bet
there's going to be.
I bet Aaron's brother's got a electric piano.
He does.
And there's got to be a point where I just bring people down.
Before we get started, we're going to do some baptism.
Hey, I bet that shit would be popping off, man. That'd be hilarious and great.
Cookie, if you're the preacher, I just don't want people like if we're doing the bachelor party thing, they're gonna be like, your preacher got more fucked up than anybody else did.
Yeah.
Praise be, man.
Your preacher had a stripper
doing God knows what.
God bless. God bless.
Yeah, but he was trying to save her.
He's saving souls and saving holes. Let's go.
All right, Mike.
Aaron, I have one request. Can I come down to Godfather's theme music?
You come out with a row of hoes with you. Yeah, Cookie's gonna have a hoe train. There you go. Mike, anything over the last 2 weeks?
2 weeks now. I just had some, great holidays. Was up in Ohio for Christmas. Got to hang out with the family. How was the COVID and everything in Ohio? It looked like it was like, oh, it's been terrible there since like it ever started. Yeah. So it's like we went up there, got we had we're fully vaccinated, got the natural booster, got the booster right before we went. So we felt like we had put on our armor and we're ready to go.
Right. Your armor of God.
We braved the cold. Everything went really smooth. And then on the way back, hit some traffic, find ourselves in the dark on a back road in Virginia, hit a fucking deer.
Oh,
that was
not a deer.
Yeah. My wife took it like a champ. Like
what day? What did you tell your kids it was a reindeer?
Luckily, Hudson was asleep. Elliot had his headphones on and eyes on tablets, so he didn't see poor Bambi just get
obliterated.
And it was again. Amanda crushed it. You worry about people swerving, all this sort of stuff.
You got to go through it. You got to go through it.
Slamming on brakes, all this sort of stuff. And as soon as she saw it, she just started coasting, slightly hitting the brakes. And then the deer started ran parallel, and the deer went like, oh, I guess fuck it. And then went in front of us. And in our car, apparently right where the license plate attaches, there's like about a 16-inch piece of steel.
Oh, it destroyed it.
And Amanda hit that deer broadside, boom, right with the license plate. We got a little crack in the bumper, a little crack in the grill, but nothing else.
Was there any fur?
Fur? Yeah, there was tufts of fur. The sound was pretty aggressive. It sounded like Terry Funk's taking some bumps.
Did it make the?
No. All I heard was rib cage shattering.
Oh God! So visceral.
And it was rib cage and bumper. But all in all, I will also say shout out to my lovely wife. This is the third deer that she has hit. This is the first one that was alive.
I think that your wife could be considered a sociopath at this point, and she is going towards every deer. Is she swerving at the deer?
Well, you missed the part where the other two were dead on the road.
Oh, she hit two dead ones.
She's hit two dead deer.
And did they splatter blood and everything?
They fucked up the undercarriage of her car both times. So we'd had always given her crap about it, and then so she finally hit a live one. Yeah, which is a little more active guy, a little more random versus a dead deer that you can clearly see in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Oh well, that's fuck him up, Amanda.
Other than that, good New Year's. Had some people over outside, play a little cornhole. It was nice. It's really warm.
It was warm, and then yesterday, the past couple of days have actually been a little chilly. It has been nice here over the holidays. I got to do my holiday thing. Got to go visit my family on Christmas Eve. That's kind of our thing now. Christmas Eve, Jasmine and I go see my family, and then on Christmas we go visit Jasmine's family, and we do the cookout sort of stuff. We had duck. Derek made us duck. He did not make us macaroni and cheese. I was kind of pissed about that. So we had some delicious ham, some duck, some good food, and it was a good experience over the holiday. Anything else? I'm trying to think like if I had any other stories. I've got one story that I cannot tell, but it was there.
No. Wait, can you tell it, but just take out any identifying factors?
I ate something. I went to the moon, and I was.
Oh, I know the story.
Okay.
I was like, just read Barnum. It's okay.
This is why you need to label things better.
Yeah. So I ate something, thought that it was going to be fine because it was the legal version of it, and it was not fine. I was playing a video game, and all of a sudden I'm playing, and in the middle of the video game, Jasmine's in the shower, and I look at the video game and I say, this is not fine. And I get up and I start rubbing my head like I know when I'm about to have a panic attack is when I start rubbing my head and I can't stop. And Jasmine's like, babe, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I am not okay. So I started pacing in the house, and Terry's like, what the fuck's going on? I ended up having to sit on the bed. Jasmine made me lay down with a cold washcloth on my head, and we had to watch the Great British Bake Off for multiple hours just to feel okay.
I bet your joints.
So Barnum.
So what was that, Tolbert?
Next time this happens, you take 2 or 3 black peppercorns, whole black peppercorns. You put them in your mouth and you chew them, and it will take away your anxiety and paranoia.
Is that science or is that bullshit?
There's science to it. So the terpenes in the peppercorn do something to take your mind off what's going on.
Okay, today we will buy some peppercorns.
We keep them on hand next to your Delta 8. So Cookie, he was having this conversation on the group chat, and I was trying to talk him through it, thinking it was the real deal. And he was like, "Yeah, I ate some Delta, whatever." I'm like, "Oh, you." This conversation's over.
Oh, okay.
I did not know. So
you'll be fine.
I ate it, and it just was a different experience than what I had before. And I talked to my therapist about it the week after. It ended up being
my personal theory. All these shops selling Delta 8 or whatever it is around town. I think they're just selling weed.
No, it definitely felt like very strong. Stuff. I can't really talk about like what it was, but yeah, it was an experience that I'm happy to be over with. The next day, I did get my PlayStation 5 in.
Some kid is still crying somewhere that did not get a PlayStation.
Some kid, that kid should have gotten a fucking smartphone with a stocking alert app like I did and jump on it when I did. So I got my video games. I walked into a GameStop for the first time in 10 years, it feels like. And it was like I never left. The guy tried to upsell me on everything, tried to get me to get a magazine, and then also tried to get me to pre-order stuff. I'm like, I just want to go home and play these games.
Yeah.
Can you stop? But I've been enjoying the PlayStation 5 life. It is interesting. So today we're talking about so we've been doing the word game, and I decided to just kind of start fresh. I believe that 6 was our end of 2021.
Palate cleanser.
Sean Waltman was our palate cleanser. And now that we are starting back 2022, Jasmine was like, so what theme are you going to do? And I'm like, babe, I don't know. I don't know. And then all of a sudden I came up, I'm like, you know what? We haven't done one in a few months. A good Terry Funk episode to kick off 2022. And also our brand new season of the show. I think this is season whatever, right?
We're going by year now?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying bullshit.
Year 3.
I was gonna say, don't we wait till WrestleMania and then that's like the.
No, I don't know. We whatever.
Fuck WrestleMania. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, we don't care about WWE anymore.
Yes,
we will watch the Royal Rumble and put money on the Royal Rumble.
100% if they have 30 people that they're going to put.
Yes. All right. Cool.
We will still bet on the Royal Rumble.
Love it.
I'm just letting you know. We're still betting on the Royal Rumble.
That's because coming up, isn't it?
It's the 23rd. It's the day. No, it's the 29th. It's the week after FTR against the Rock and Roll Express, which I cannot wait to talk to you guys about. It's going to be the most incredible matchup in the history of mankind.
Are we going to Spartanburg?
I am, if you guys would like to come along.
I want to go to Spartanburg.
Okay. Let's go see the Rock and Roll Express against FTR.
I'll be down, yeah, road trip.
There we go.
See where Omicron is.
Omicron. All right, so let's talk about some Terry Funk. I'm very excited about our 3 matches today. One of the matches is probably in the top 3 of my all-time favorite Terry Funk matches. Tolbert, you got it. Yes, Cookie.
Oh, it wasn't mine?
No, no, it was not yours. No. It was not yours. It is definitely Tolbert's match, and I've got some stories to tell about when I saw that match for the first time, watching it live. So let's talk about some Terry Funk. All right, for our first matchup of the evening, Mike, I know you like him. I got you a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I originally was going to give you the match that I gave Tolbert, and then I said 30 minutes, he's going to piss all over it. Mike, you have got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Terry Funk.
Shit does happen when it gets that long. All right, Terry Funk, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WCW, June 14th, 1989. Mike was just but a wee little child at this point.
I was too. Yeah, I was 3.
Tolbert, a little bit older, had the chance. He could have seen this live because it was at the Ritz Epps Center in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Woo! So, yeah, they did a lot of shows on base that I did not get to see because they were on base and so far away, and I was young. So,
yes,
with
it being on base,
Fort Bragg a lot.
When it was on base, Tolbert, were civilians allowed to go?
Yes, at that time, yes. You just have to show ID.
So I forget that there was a time pre-2001.
Yeah.
Pre-9/11.
You can literally just walk onto the base back in the day. Anyway, we got Jim Ross. Is that Bob Backlund on the mic? Who is that?
Jim. Oh, shit. Now that you ask me. No, Bob Cottle.
Bob Cottle. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Former WRAL weatherman.
Okay. All right. So it's Jim Ross and Bob. This is a top 10 ranking bout. Currently, Terry Funk is the number 10 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ricky Steamboat, in a contested ranking system, is the number 1 contender. Luger is second. Sting is third. Sets the ground floor for this match a little bit. I just want to say, and Aaron was giving me crap the other day about it, but I will continue to stand my ground that TBS undercase letters is just a weak name and graphic for AEW. And it really annoys me.
Turner Broadcast System, there is nothing wrong.
They should refer it back to the Superstation, because they dropped the Superstation name at least a half a dozen times at the start of this match.
It was the Superstation, and I guess now
Superstation sounds strong. Let's get back to that kind of trend.
The Superstation.
But match starts, and I imagine we were just like rolling up to a dinner in a nice fancy steakhouse, and we walk in and the hostess goes, "Welcome to Ricky's Chop House." We're serving chops to the chest, and on special we have chops to the face. And because that's how this match starts, is about 30 chops by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to Terry Funk's chest and face.
That's right.
Classic Funk flop coming up. He takes a drop kick to the chest, which Jim Ross calls perfectly. He said kicked him right out of his double crossed boots. And Terry flops to the floor on outside the ring, and it was classic Steamboat, classic Funk, classic Jim Ross, and it like brought a little warmth to my heart.
I would have loved to have been at Fort Bragg.
It's like professional wrestling at its finest.
It's the best.
We get a second funk flop outside the ring. I did not quite understand this or why he did it, but Ricky picks him up over his shoulder like he's going to do like one of those yeets into the corner post. And instead, Ricky just like walks the entire length of the ring outside, and then hits him with a little power slam. Crowd loved it. I was a little confused by it. You can tell Ricky was gassed after it because there's no weight. Like he's just dead weight at that point.
Yeah.
But it's a classic match between goats in professional wrestling for what they do and who they are and how they work.
And you bring up the word goats, and I really do think, I truly believe that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. He's incredible. Everything he does, he's almost like a Daniel Bryan, very technical, very smooth. Everything just comes together. So yes, he is one of the goats of all time. When you talk
goats of all time is like saying ATM machine.
Yeah. Okay.
Goats.
All right. Yeah. It was redundant. I get it now. But when you're talking about Terry Funk, he brings a different kind of style to it. His is more visual. It's not as smooth, but it's more. I totally believe that it's.
Yeah, like you said, it's visual. It's
believable.
It's borderline flamboyant, but again, it's believable, and it's just animated, and it draws you in to what's going on, and it makes a simple move look big when he's just kind of like, and then he falls out of the ring.
And nobody can tell me that his wobbly leg is not one of the greatest wobbly legs.
I think it's better. I think it's better than Flair.
It's incredible.
It's just great. It's phenomenal. Classic ref bump occurs. We get it. Ricky goes for an Irish whip. Terry reverses it. And then Ricky reverses the revert. It actually looked really, really powerful and really cool to look at, because you're like, sometimes you're like, why don't they just not run the Irish whip? Like,
right.
And so it was like this like chain of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then somebody hits the ref. Of course,
Nick Patrick took a big bump.
Damn near knocked out.
Oh.
And Funk seizes the opportunity. Gets Steamboat outside the ring. Boos are raining down on Terry Funk. He hits a pile driver on the outside. This is actually the second pile driver that he hit in like the last 3 minutes. Steamboat doesn't know where the fuck he is. Terry Funk slides him into the ring. Classic, gets him pinned. Referee's like out of it. Probably took some Delta 8 or something. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
I do love that Terry tries like, you don't see it a lot. Like a lot of times the wrestler, when the referee is down, just kind of waits for him. Yeah. like Terry Funk, like literally tries to wake him up multiple times.
Sir, I'm trying to win this match. And we get the 1-2. And then what I liked about this, and I don't think guys do it enough today, it's the 1-2. All right, Ricky kicked out, but you just expended a bunch of energy. You almost got him beat. Let me just fucking hold that pin down a little bit more.
And Ricky's kickouts are not like the traditional, like, oh, it's like a huge thing. He looks exhausted too in his kickouts.
So what's Terry do? Locks him back up, rolls into it again, and tries to get the 3 count. Now Ricky does kick out again, but it brings that realism to it because why not? Like they talk about how exhausted guys are after they kick out. It's like, well, fuck, like I just hit him with 2 pile drivers. I'm not that tired. He's clearly tired. Let's try it again. So looked great. This is where Funk makes just a brutal error. Terry Funk tries to go for a fucking frog splash.
That's right. That's right.
Terry Funk. As soon as I see Terry Funk start climbing the ring post, I just go, no, Terry,
no,
don't do it. It's 1989. You're in your 40s. You don't need to do this.
No.
And he goes for a frog splash. He does not, if Eddie Guerrero is a 10, this was at least a 2, not a 3 though.
Yeah, I could see it too.
He did not get fully extended. He just looked rough. Looked like an old white guy trying to hit a frog splash.
Up until about 50, his old adage, he was a no flips, just fist guy. If you watch a Terry Funk match, and then somehow he put the moonsault into his
fuck it, we're gonna do it. And so he goes for the frog splash. Steamboat gets the knees up. And then I love this again because these guys are the greatest of all time. Terry Funk sells the knee spot for the rest of the match. Now, it's not a long match after this, but like he's like bent over, and then Steamboat hits an Irish whip and like just gut shots Terry. And he's like literally stumbling everywhere he can. At one point, he takes this bump and he lands on the announcer's table. And this is back when the announcer's table abutted the ring. And, so Bob, whoever the weatherman was, Cottle, is flustered by this.
You can tell he's legitimately annoyed.
Jim Ross is like, okay, let's see where this is going. And I'm sure they like told him what was about to happen like before, but Bob Cottle is clearly flustered and in a fully like shoot, not worked, legitimate thing. He's going, no, please don't, like to Terry, because Terry's like fumbling around with all their shit.
He throws his jacket off the table.
And he's like, no, please don't. And finally Terry finds the work prop mic, right? And gets to the corner, hits Steamboat with it, gets the DQ. And it just I got a big old chuckle because like partly as I don't know, is Terry purposely fucking with this guy?
Oh, probably.
Did he know? Jim Ross was loving every bit of it. You could just tell. DQ finish. Luger then runs out. Luger apparently was supposed to be on commentary, but he wasn't there because he was upset
because he doesn't speak English
by the ranking system. He was upset that he was ranked number 2 and Steamboat was number 1. Flair currently held the title, I believe. And so Luger runs in with a chair, scares Terry away, cuts a little bit of a promo.
Not great.
Well, not great because of his words and not great because he wasn't looking at the hard cam. He was looking sideways
because he's an idiot.
And you can see Steamboat try to be like, hey, dude, over there. Hey, dude, that's hard cam. And like Luger's just not having any.
He's literally pointing to
he's like,
hard cam.
He's like, go that way. And Luger he's trying to remember what the fuck he was trying to say. But Luger helps Steamboat up. And then classic gets the chair and goes after Steamboat. Again, crowd goes bonkers for this. Shrieks are heard in the stand. Boos come down at him because he's just healing it up. Eventually, Sting comes in. The number 3 contender, who's apparently friends with Ricky Steamboat, comes in and kind of, soothes it all out. Great match.
Surfer Sting.
Yeah, Surfer Sting. Great match. Again, it's always nice to watch guys at the peak of their, professionalism put on, even if it's just a Fort Bragg, whatever show, Saturday, whatever the fuck. It was really nice to watch. It was good. I will say Jim Ross, obviously the greatest play-by-play commentator of all time.
Yeah.
When it comes to professional wrestling, this is like him either like coming into his heyday.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's so fast. He's sharp. Like everything he says has purpose. It gives great detail, full of insights, keeps it kayfabe. Like at one point early in the match, Terry's like hitting Steamboat with right fist and Jim Ross, without missing a beat, goes, "Don't forget, he's a southpaw." And then Terry comes in and just hammers him with a left. It was just, I was like, God damn, like this, like, and it's sad because everybody's like, "Oh man, like Jim Ross, they get him off TV. He sucks."
Still good.
He's still great in those big moments, and he clearly can't. He doesn't have the speed to like do the play-by-play anymore.
And I think that, and I don't think that it's because wrestling has changed. He's never been a guy that calls moves. He's a guy, he'll call like a smattering of moves, but he's more about the emotional storytelling of the match.
And just like, I like when announcers kayfabe up things, like when they, when something happens that might not have been perfect, or they don't hit the match, the move all the way. They're like, "Oh, he didn't get all of it. Like it might come back to bite him or whatever, blah, blah, blah." And Jim Ross, like in the 80s, 90s, was just on another level up with it. So shout out to him. I also like that this entire match almost was completely based off of the ranking system.
Yes.
I like that AEW does it because it gives you some semblance of an idea of what's going to be happening in the future, what can happen in the future, versus just this hodgepodge grab bag of what fucking random match are we going to do with these two wrestlers
50 times in a row
this week. And it just makes so much fucking sense long term to like let me know, like, oh, hey, this guy's ranked number 3, like he might get a shot eventually, or he's going to wrestle somebody big to get that, move up. So I know I like that the whole storyline based on this match was the rankings. So
I feel it's a much more logical approach and a more sports based approach that kind of sets AEW apart from WWE.
Well, yeah, because you know where the fuck people stand. I don't know. It just makes sense.
Anything else, man?
Nah, that's it.
All right, for the, I guess you would call it strong style this week. Cookie, you have got one Bret Hart against Terry Funk.
Aaron, I'm not gonna gimmick and fringe. So, do you mind telling the people at home when this match took place?
WCW 2000.
Yes, thank you. All right. When did Bret become world champion? Question mark. I thought Tolbert. Go ahead.
Oh wait, so no, you go ahead. You go ahead, Cookie. I've got some things I need to add to this as well. Go ahead.
Please do, because I need some background knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I thought Goldberg ended his career in the 90s, and that was it. I thought he was done in like 98.
So I was going to talk to you about this.
Okay. And Terry Funk is the commissioner at this point of WCW.
That threw me for a loop. Apparently, he'd only been commissioner in like
for
a week.
72 hours.
I was like, what is happening?
Things I didn't know.
Bret Hart is still a part of the NWO at this time. Okay. Who booked this crap? I haven't made it this far in my WCW journey, Aaron. I'm still in 98. And maybe I should quit while I'm ahead because Goldberg is still champion at this point. And there's still some resemblance of respect for WCW.
Yeah. So this was after the infamous Goldberg incident. So you can definitely tell that Bret Hart was not peak Bret Hart. And that kind of leads to a lot of the matches, a lot of the match relying on Terry Funk to do the bumps. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That does make sense. That makes a lot of sense now. Okay. So he still wrestled after that head injury that he had, right?
Very sporadically.
He became the champion, so he had to have wrestled quite often, correct? Or
I think that it was, I'm looking it up and it's like, yeah, he had one more match after this.
Jesus Christ, that's so sad. Well, still, I'm going to give him his introduction no matter what. Middle-aged and crazy Terry Funk, one of our favorites here on the podcast, versus the excellence of execution. The best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Dax Harwood's favorite wrestler and one of my favorite wrestlers, Bret Hart. So let's go ahead and get to the countdown.
Cookies, top 4, number 1.
What in the hell was WCW thinking in 2000? Bret the Hitman Hart is wearing jean shorts, people. Jean shorts. Jorts. He's wearing jorts. The NWO is still alive. Terry Funk has to face Kevin Nash in 3 days. And if Terry wins, the NWO disbands. But if Kevin Nash wins, he becomes the commissioner. And everyone's forced to hear Wolfpack in the house every night. And who the hell is on commentary, Aaron? What the hell is going on in WCW in 2000?
I think that was the guy that was the voice of Tony the Tiger was one of them. I don't remember who the other one was. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No wonder WCW fell through. This is getting ridiculous. Just, okay, -1 cookie. No doubt about it.
Number 2.
It took Terry approximately 30 seconds to start throwing chairs in the ring. But the one that made me chuckle the most, Aaron, and I hope you saw this, is the one that he threw in the ring that did not clear the top rope, that fell perfectly open.
Yes.
After it hits the top rope. And Terry no-sells it. He no-sells the whole thing. It just gets in the ring.
+3 cookies.
You could tell that he like looked at it like he's like, should I throw it again? And
he's like, oh.
He just ignored it.
I loved it. I want to give this 2 cookies so bad. But the fact that I'm talking about a chair in the top 4 gets -1 cookie. That's how bad it was.
So that's a net 1 then, right?
Yeah, it's a net 1. It really is. It's a net 1. All right.
Number 3.
Now, you just explained to me what I thought was going on. So, Bret Hart is coming from this head injury that he sustained. Again, from Goldberg. Not going to let him slide for that. But you talk about an ugly bump that was just unnecessary. It was that bump where he was in that, I guess, cart full of weapons.
Right.
Terry Funk and him were just throwing fisticuffs back and forth outside of the ring. Not too much action that was going on in this match. Like I said, a lot of chair bumps. Terry Funk, who's 50 or 60 years old, is taking a lot of these bumps, which is scratching
Let me do
my
the
head.
math. If he was 61 in 2006, 61 minus 6, so he was 55 at the time.
55. Taking chair bumps to the head.
Yeah, 56.
I was a little appalled by that. But anyway, so the match is going on the outside, and we get to this cart full of weapons, and Terry, doing Terry things, throws Bret Hart into the cart, and then he decides to push the cart towards the ring. And I always have thought about this, but wrestlers don't think about this, I guess, because they take the cart and they push it towards the mat, and they think that it's going to clear the mat, and it never does. And of course, it gets hung up on the mat, and Bret Hart falls on the back of his head.
Yeah, the other issue with the laundry cart, which Terry probably doesn't know, is that only 2 of the wheels swivel. So I've pushed a lot of those in my day. And
did he grab the wrong end?
No, but I think he tried to push it from the center at like the horizontal point, and that's not going to work because 2 of those wheels are facing forward.
I can see that.
So then I think he realized it a little bit, but I think he turned. I don't know. He tried to steer it with the wrong wheels, and if you try to rear steer or front steer, if you try to front steer or rear steer, it ain't working. But yeah, that looked pretty like you said, unnecessary.
Very. And so I have to give this -1 cookie because I like Bret Hart. I was like, this might have been his last match.
And talk about goats. We're not doing so good.
Yeah, not so much. I'm gonna go to my honorable mentions before I get to number 4 because anyway. Some of my favorite signs in the crowd. Scott Hall made wrestling.
He did, yeah.
I don't know about that, but yeah, sure.
Scott Hall made a drink. That's all he did.
Ellerby, North Carolina. That was it. That was the whole entire sign.
Do you know the significance of Ellerby, North Carolina?
I do. I looked it up. Population 1,000. Also, once the home of Andre the Giant.
That's right. He owned a farm there, and he is also buried there in Ellerby, North Carolina. When Tolbert and I were going up to WrestleCade, I really wanted to take a 15-minute detour off of the road to go stop at Andre's grave, but Andre's grave is on private property, so we are not allowed to go there.
Damn. Yeah, I did not know that. So it was a fun fact there. Also, slap nuts with 2 T's.
Slap nuts, the classic Jeff Jarrett taunt.
Yes, and Jeff Jarrett he makes an appearance later on in this match, and I didn't realize it, but I was like, oh, okay, this is like that Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner era of WCW where it just shit hit the fan, basically.
Yes.
My last one, drunk Terry Funk.
Yes, yeah, that was my favorite one.
I was like, yes, if Terry Funk did get drunk, he probably would call himself Terry Flunk.
Yes.
That's it. Anyway, all right, last honorable mention, Terry Funk trying to walk around with the chair still wrapped around his leg is pure comedy gold there. What do you think?
Number 4.
All right, so WCW went under for a reason, people. It's probably because at the climax of this match, featuring the world champion Bret Hart and the then commissioner Terry Funk, they cut to the back in the climax of this match. They cut to the back and show us Arn Anderson putting on a referee shirt. Nope, just kidding. David Flair. David Flair is going to be the referee that comes out and saves this match because, of course, I forget his name. Young Rick. What do they call him? Baby Flair.
Nate. They called him Nate. I don't remember. Yeah. Robinson.
Yeah. Yes. He's the one. He takes a bump.
Little Nate.
Ref. Arn is gonna do it. David Flair says, "No, don't do that. I'll put the shirt on." Puts the shirt on, and then he locks Arn Anderson in his locker room. Is David Flair a crazy person? Is that what he's trying to portray?
I don't remember. I don't care. I hated David Flair.
What I didn't get was the like cackle he let out well before he was able to get the door locked. So it just totally throws Arn Anderson under the bus because like Arn should just been like, "What the fuck?" and like walked to the door and opened it before.
Exactly. I even wrote that down. I was like, he's making crazy noises while he's trying to.
You would think that he would have his Glock in his bag that he could just pull on David, right?
All I know is he cackled. All he had to do was shut the door, and I would have assumed it was locked.
All right, you can do that.
I'll let you lock it.
Anyway, you cut back to the ring in the middle of this match once again, and Bret Hart is pinning Terry Funk. What happened? No one knows because we cut back to watch David Flair lock Arn Anderson in the closet. Anyway. Stop me if you've never heard this one before, but the NWO members, Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner, come out to the ring to beat up a non-NWO member.
Huh.
Have you heard that one before, Aaron?
No.
Oh, it's like the booking is just chef's kiss, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. David Flair, Terry Funk, R.I.P. Daphne. All of them.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Daphne did do a run-in too.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's Daphne. And then, of course, she's getting beat up by Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner as well.
So Jeff Jarrett had a baseball bat in his hand. This is something that I learned in the comments. He throws – Bret Hart's laying on his back, right? Jeff Jarrett comes in with the baseball bat, hits Terry Funk, throws the bat over his shoulder. The baseball bat comes down right on Bret Hart's face. And you can see Bret just doing like, oh!
Oh, I never noticed that.
Bret Hart was truly the reason, Jeff Jarrett was truly the reason why Bret Hart could never wrestle again.
I just want to point this out is that Bret Hart, in the matter of 10 minutes, because this match was only 10 minutes long, fell on the back of his head and took a bat to the face.
Yes.
He should have just stayed in WWF.
Yes.
Anyway, David Flair, Terry Funk, R.I.P. Daphne, all of them suffer at the hands of the rest of the NWO. And also Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash makes an appearance. He's on the outside. I guess the Wolfpack doesn't exist anymore. At the end of the melee, Terry Funk gets jackknifed on the stage. And he goes through the stage awkwardly, I might add.
I was going to say, he didn't go through it at first. It looked like they missed. Terry Funk took way too much.
I think this was actually, I believe it was NWO 2000 was the name of this group.
This was NWO 2000. Okay. I've heard things about them. I've heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrible group. The hodgepodge of people.
Correct.
Yeah. So into this match. This match is going to get 2 cookies. I mean, it's one of those things that's so bad that it's kind of comical.
Yes.
So, 2 cookies is all it's going to get from me. But I love Terry Funk and Bret Hart, and this should have been a lot better match than it was.
Well, and with all the circumstances surrounding it, you kind of understand why it was such a stinker.
100%. Because probably Kevin Nash was the one who booked the match and did the entire thing.
All right, for our main event of the night, one of my favorite matches of all time, because I've got such a close, I guess it would be a personal story along with this match. 2006, I was just kicked out of college, freshly kicked out of college. I was living at home with my parents. I had just enrolled in Cape Fear Community College, trying to get my life back on track. I could not afford pay-per-views because the only income I had coming in was money that I was making helping fellow church members of my parents. I was doing yard work for them and helping them do stuff around the house. They were giving me some money from that. That was my income. Could not afford the pay-per-view price. So there was what they used to call, I think they were like blast zones, WWE blast zones, what they would have around town. They would show the WWE pay-per-view. And the closest one to me was the Buffalo Wild Wings right next to the Walmart on Market Street. I was 20 at the time. And a girl in one of my classes at Cape Fear Community College said, "Hey, we have the wrestling pay-per-views. You can come watch it there." She knew I was 20, but she served me, right? So I was able to kind of drink and enjoy the time. I was not like the regular wrestling fan that would order a Diet Pepsi and just that was his entire thing. He was just there to watch the pay-per-view. I would order appetizers throughout the entire event, enjoy it, and it was a fun experience. So like it was a collective experience. Everybody was yelling at the TV and stuff. So I remember watching this pay-per-view, ECW One Night Stand Part 2, very well. This was a pay-per-view, and I remember watching this match in a bar full of people and just being so flabbergasted at what I saw that it was just one of those moments in my mind that just sticks out. So Tolbert, you have got Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, Beaulah McGillicuddy against Edge, Mick Foley, and Lita.
Yes, I just want to say that the One Night Stand pay-per-views are the greatest ever filmed to this day. I mean, nothing else compares. I mean, if you ask me what's your favorite pay-per-view, One Night Stand all the way, dude. I've watched it so many times. I love it.
I was looking at the match card for this, and 2 matches other than this, or 3, stood out. There was a match between Kurt Angle and Randy Orton in this match.
Yeah.
Because it was the time where WWE was kind of inserting itself into ECW product. Yeah. It was a good match. And then there was Sabu against Rey Mysterio, which is a match that everybody should love and enjoy. Yeah. And then the main event, which is one of my favorite matches of all time. John Cena against RVD for the championship. And at the end, RVD wins the WWE.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Last time I watched this pay-per-view, I was watching Elliot, Mike's son, like when he was very young. And I was like, all right, buddy, we're going to watch this pay-per-view. It's amazing. I mean, the setting, you're in Hammerstein Ballroom. It's very intimate. The ECW has been bought out by WWE. So the fans have just one more night to celebrate and see their favorites and party. So that, I mean, you cannot recreate that atmosphere. Never will be able to. It's amazing. We start off with Mick Foley in the ring, saying, because Mick Foley he came up in WCW or ECW. That's how he got his start. So I love his promo. He says that he didn't sell out. The only thing he sold out was Madison Square Garden. It's just like chef kiss,
and to give you a little background. So the reason why Mick Foley had turned heel, he had just had this match against Edge at WrestleMania. A hardcore match. It was a hardcore match at WrestleMania, big deal. And at the end of it, he lost to Edge. And it was almost like the syndrome, Munchausen syndrome or whatever. He started to kind of, start to develop the things at Edge. He started to pal around with Edge after he lost. So he became this heel because of Edge.
Yeah, and he's a great heel. So in this corner, you have Edge, you have Mick Foley, and you have Lita. So after Mick Foley's promo, Edge kicks in and starts the whole night, which makes the atmosphere so great. All the WWE wrestlers just shit on ECW fans the entire time. And they get so much heat. Edge just talks about how, they never get laid. They're dirty. They're stupid. That they're going to touch themselves to the vision of his girlfriend Lita later on.
I probably did, yes.
It's just amazing. And what breaks up this promo is, just to be there live and to see Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer come out together at the same time is just amazing. So they come out and they're here to save the day, to do work. I love how right off the bat, it's Tommy Dreamer and Mick Foley in the ring together, but he calls out Terry Funk. He's like, "No, I want the funker. Give me the funk." So Terry gives it to him, man. He just starts slapping the shit out of Mick Foley to the point where he's like, "I can't take this." Tries to exit the ring, where Terry just spears him outside of the ring, and it creates this beautiful visual because you have Terry and Mick Foley on one side, outside of the ring, and then you have Edge and Tommy Dreamer on the other side, outside the ring, just going at each other.
It reminded me of one of my favorite skits. He's getting the shit kicked out of him, and I almost think I heard him say, "There's too much shit on me."
I don't want to be around anymore.
I don't want to be around anymore.
Oh, by the end of this match, no one wanted to be around anymore because, just chaos just kicks off, and they are beating the shit out of each other, man. I know backstage, Foley was just like, "Terry, give me everything you got. Like, I want you to literally punch me in the face." And that's what he did, man. They get each other on the guardrail, man. They're punching each other, slapping the crap out of each other. You have the ladies going at it as well in between, but right off the bat, man, we get trash cans thrown in by Tommy Dreamer. We get ladders, we get chairs. Not 2 minutes into the match, I don't know if you noticed, Terry Funk does throw an ECW chair.
Yes.
And it lands in the front row of the audience while he's beating on Mick Foley.
Yes.
So, you just have a little bit of everything. The ladder comes into play pretty early. Edge sets up the ladder. He gets Tommy Dreamer down, and for some reason, Terry just starts climbing the ladder. Like, what is he gonna do? What is he planning on doing? I don't know if he's gonna just dive off on top of Edge from the outside. Who knows? But he ends up getting pushed over and taking like a 30-foot bump. Yes. At this age. It is insane. We do get a helicopter spot from Terry Funk in the middle of the ring, where he clears the ring by putting his head through the rung of the ladder and just spinning around. It is great. At one point, he just jams it into Mick Foley's face as well when he's done.
Dude, wait, real quick. I'll never forget. There was a video game that came out around this time. It was like SmackDown versus Raw, whatever. And one of the options was you could put the ladder on your head and do it helicopter style.
Yes.
And I
would spam that move.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this match. We could probably talk like 2 hours just about breaking down this match.
I feel like this could be a match that we could do a live watch along with, it could be absolutely the most entertaining thing.
Yes. So you get the crowd. They want tables. They want barbed wire. They're chanting. They want violence. They know who's in the ring. It's funny, every time they go to the curtain and they lift up, the curtain, you see like 50 work tables just stacked up under the ring for the night. And at one point, you think they're about to pull one out, but Edge and Foley pull out a board full of barbed wire, just full of barbed wire, and they start throwing this thing around. At one point they suplex it onto Terry. They're throwing it all around. People are getting caught in it. Tommy Dreamer's ear gets caught in it at one point. It was rough. And you see Edge getting cut from the barbed wire. And they're just throwing this thing around all willy-nilly. And this is right after Edge takes this brutal hip toss onto a ladder set in the corner. I mean, they are going all out. No punches are pulled. Like, I don't think that's worked barbed wire at all.
It's not. No.
Everyone's getting cut up. At one point, we get action outside the ring after Terry takes a few bumps with that barbed wire board. And at one point, Mick Foley just dumps him into the crowd over the railing and just starts punching him as he's just laying in the floor of the crowd. It's an amazing visual. He comes out, he's bloody, he's bleeding. Foley goes right back at it with a fistful of barbed wire, just punching him in the head, just drawing that blood. At one point, he's just bleeding all over the place. You think Foley has taken his eye out with this barbed wire. They show shots of the crowd, people audibly gasping and just disgusted.
Can I tell you, I believed, like, I was kayfabe during that match.
Oh, 100%, man. The first time I saw this, just like, oh, dude, they're just actually... They're doing it hard way, man. They're going crazy. The medical staff comes to Terry's attention because he's bleeding all over the place. He's like, oh my God, this old man's dying.
Yes, and I thought he was dying.
Yeah, and at one point you think he gave the secret signal, because the medical staff takes him to the back. And you're like, all right, well, I guess he's just going to leave the rest of the crew to finish it on their own, leave Tommy alone. So Tommy continues doing work and they start to get the upper hand on the ECW team because they are outnumbered. And then you hear a commotion in the distance. Some time has passed. The cameras revert to just a barbed wire 2x4 bobbing through the crowd. And then it cuts to a bandaged up Terry Funk, just bleeding through his bandages. The crowd going wild as he makes his way through the crowd to the ring with this barbed wire 2x4. And he begins to beat the shit out of everybody. He sets it on fire. He beats the crap out of Mick Foley. At this point, the barbed wire board is set up outside of the ring, which Foley ends up going through. Just a brutal bump. He's on fire from all these flaming hits. He's smoking. He goes to the barbed wire. They hit him with the fire extinguishers. And you can tell Foley is stuck in this barbed wire. Yes. He's not moving. He loses focus. Edge gives him a bump off the curtain, puts Funk right through it, almost face first into this barbed wire.
Yes.
So you have Mick Foley and Funk. They just end up in the table together, all entangled. And just the story it tells, the visuals and everything. And then
very poetic,
just tangled up together is amazing. I did do some reading. Funk had to be cut out of that barbed wire.
Yeah. They posted pictures. I remember going on WWE.com later that night, and they post pictures of the aftermath of that match, and it was just atrocious. Like, it was very, very graphic to see Terry.
Yeah, so it leaves Dreamer and Edge, the R-rated superstar, in the ring together with their counterparts, Lita and Beaulah McGillicuddy. So they just go out. You see a series of spears. You see Edge get choked out with barbed wire. Tommy Dreamer has him in a chokehold with the barbed wire, also digging into his forehead. So more brutal visuals. They start going in on the ladies. They take some slams. Edge is pretty brutal, hands out some of his patented spears on everybody. The match ends with Edge pinning Beaulah McGillicuddy rather suggestively.
Yes.
And that is the match. Not how I thought it was going to end, but great. It just amazing. 5-star classic, instant 5-star classic.
I remember and it just being one of those things that after that match, I had to go take a breather outside, and it was just something that happened throughout that match. And I remember when that DVD came out, I purchased that DVD immediately, And I would try to tell people, I'd be like, yeah, you should start watching wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, come watch this match. And I showed them that match. And they're like, I'm never going to watch.
Why would I watch this?
Why would I watch? This is absolutely atrocious.
If I had to show anybody like one pay-per-view, it would be One Night Stand for sure. And this match, like this is wrestling. The crowd's going wild. You have so many holy shit chants throughout the whole time. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to follow this match up. Whoever's going on next.
Yeah. They ended up having, like the incredible main event too. So like there was match after match after match throughout that event that just blew the crowd sky high.
One of my favorite disses though is Edge does call Paul Heyman. He said he can't be Santa Claus, but because he's fat, but he is Jewish
and full of bullshit.
Full of bullshit. So their promos are amazing. The match is amazing. Just every single moment of this match, there's nothing botched, nothing. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. It's hard to take your eyes off of this match. It really is. Like you don't.
I appreciated the crowd pop for Terry Funk. I think of the whole match when Terry came back, like the crowd just freaking out about it. I think probably brought a smile to the old man's.
Let me right before you do your HighKu, I'm going to give you the rest of this card. It opened with Taz defeating Jerry Lawler with a submission in 35 seconds. Kurt Angle defeated Randy Orton. The FBI, which is Little Guido and Tony Mamaluke, against Super Crazy and Tajiri. There was a run-in by the Big Show who slammed all the tiny guys at the end. There was Rey Mysterio versus Sabu, ending in a no contest because I think Sabu got really fucked up on one of those spots.
Just throws himself off. That whole match is Sabu just throwing himself off the top rope to the outside.
Yeah. And he got fucked up. Yeah. After that, we've got Edge, McFoley, and Lita against Terry, Tommy, and Beaulah. So after this match was Balls Mahoney against Masato Tanaka, which is...
I don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
No one remembers that.
That was me having to go smoke a cigarette outside because I was so stressed out after that. And then finally, we have Rob Van Dam against John Cena. Tolbert, give me your HighKu for one of my favorite matches ever.
We want barbed wire. Tables, ladders, chairs will do. Terry lights it up.
Yeah. He did.
Terry stole the show. Terry.
He did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely one of my favorite matches. Once again, a phenomenal episode of $2 Steak. We get to do our Terry Funk matches. Do you guys want to do an Edge week next week?
Let's get R-rated.
You want to do R-rated, or do you want to do? I'm not doing a Tommy Dreamer. I
don't want. We can't do Bret Hart.
We've done a Bret Hart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
the Bret Hart episode was the saddest episode we ever did. That was that episode. That was the post-COVID like extravaganza that Kevin from Kentucky says. Jesus Christ, man, that was a dark episode.
Ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys.
And then, so our two options are either Ricky Steamboat, which could be an incredible technical masterpiece, or we could do one Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland.
You want to do Edge?
I'm curious. To see what you're going to bring up.
Yeah, let's do Edge.
We'll do Edge. All right, so there you go. So next week on $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast, we're going to have the Rated R Superstar. I'm excited about it. I've got a soft spot for Edge in my heart.
I have a feeling I'm getting a Vampire Edge match.
You're either going to get a Vampire Edge match or a TLC match. There's going to be some. There has been some shitty things that he has done in his career.
Whew, terrible.
I'm trying to think. Did he wrestle Great Khali ever? I think he did. I think we might have to have a Great Khali match in there.
Oh, that's going to be sloppy.
Oh, sloppy steaks for all of us. Thank you for listening to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast.